Welcome to the second part of our How to Cruise series. In this section, we're going to talk about embarkation, how it works, what to expect once you board the ship, what to expect before you board the ship, and what you need to be ready for, and then just safety drills and protocols that will happen once you get on the ship, as well as how does food work. So once you arrive at your port of entry, you will be taken or you'll be directed towards the luggage drop-off area. This is where crew members will come and they'll collect your luggage that you want to take onto the ship, and they'll take it to the ship and start loading it onto the ship. Then your car will be directed towards the parking garage. You'll go through the parking garage, and as I stated in the previous video, parking is around $17 per day per vehicle. So you'll park your car there, and then you'll walk down. I believe you'll take the elevator or the stairs down to the actual cruise port building. Now, once you enter there, you will have to go through security. If you're a platinum member like we are now, you have a separate part to go through, which is a little bit quicker than the other line. But otherwise, you'll have to go through the regular line and you'll go through security. Now, once you go through security, you'll head up the escalators and you'll go into either, if you haven't checked out online or checked in online, then you'll have to go to the front desk and speak to the workers there and get checked in there. Otherwise, you have the option now to check in online. So, really, pretty much, if you check in online, you just would head in and sit, have a seat, and wait till your boarding group is called. Once your boarding group is called, then you get to head on to the ship. Now, depending on your check in time, sometimes when you check in, if your check-in time is a little bit later, you are able to enter the ship and go straight to your room and check it out. But most of the time when you get there, you have to wait a little bit before you can get to your room. So what we normally do is we'll take the elevators up to the top deck and they'll have lunch at Cabanas. They'll have their buffet style lunch and you can go there and get a little bit of food. So, because it's usually around lunchtime or a little bit after lunchtime when you enter the ship. Go over there, have some lunch, and then once the time is ready, they'll let you know that your room is ready, and you can go check out your room, see if everything's in order. When you get to the room, usually you'll have a little bit of some goodies. They'll give you like some sort of tote, depending on what level you are. Even if you're a first time cruiser, you'll get something. Usually it's lanyards, maybe a tote bag, a backpack, something. Um, and you'll just go check out your room and wait for for them to do the safety drill. Now, when you get to the safety drill, everybody it's been different. With COVID, they were having a system where you could just check in on your phone and that was it. But now we're going back to traditional style safety drills. With the traditional style safety drills, you actually have to go. They'll tell you on your app where you are to meet your group for the security drill. You'll find that area on the cruise ship, wait there, and then they'll do the drill. They'll go through all the different safety procedures if something were to happen, and then I believe you still have to check in on your app, and then that's it. And then you can pretty much go about and do what you like to do on the ship as long as things are starting to open. The pools are usually open right away. But you can go explore the ship and do what you please. And then when it's your dinner time, whether you picked the early dining or the later dining, you go to dinner. There's also shows being offered, and you can pretty much go about and do whatever activities you would like to on the ship. Now they do give you when you come onto the ship, it is really nice. They'll call out your family name or whatever you want to be called. If you want to be called by first names, they'll say welcome so and so or welcome something family, which is really nice and personable. I haven't experienced that on other cruises that I've been on. But that is a really nice and personable touch. And then you will, at some point in time, you'll get your key cards, and the key cards pretty much is what you use to turn on the lights in the room, to get into the room. You use it when you go onto their personal island. You take it pretty much everywhere. You can use it to pay for things on the cruise. When you're going to the shops, they'll take your key card. And then on every cruise departure, you will have a show on stage. It's like your sailing away party. So this usually happens right after the all the drills are completed, then you'll come down to the front area and you'll enjoy the show that they have, the sailing away party, which is really nice. They have like a nice little singing and dance show. You can either go in the center or you can be up top watching. It's really great, and especially if this is your first Disney cruise, definitely you would want to check it out. And then once this is over, then everybody kind of disperses and just does their own thing, and that's where, you choose what you would like to do. So I definitely recommend, especially if it's your first time cruising, to check out the Sail Away Party. So, something that we come across a lot is the question of, are Disney cruises only for adults with children? And the small answer to that is no. I feel like there's a lot of things that on the Disney cruise ship itself that are the same on other cruise lines. A lot of classes offered, a lot of the amenities. For example, there's an adult only pool. There is an adult only part of the island on Disney's Castaway Key. The restaurants Remy and Paulo are adult only. You have to be 18 or older to enter. There's wine tasting, there's cooking classes, there's trivia nights, there's bars. There's a lot of things that adults can do if you don't have kids. In fact, like I said, there's areas specified where kids cannot enter. So the answer is definitely no. If you are coming on to, or you're thinking about a Disney cruise, I feel like you at least have to have some sort of interest in Disney and as to why you would be booking a Disney cruise. And sure, there are going to be a lot more kids on a Disney cruise, I feel, than other cruise lines, just because Disney is something that kids gravitate towards. But you can definitely have a good time on the ship if you don't have children. So, what happens with severe weather if there's severe weather while you're on the ship? So, we actually experienced severe weather when we were on Castaway Key. It was during the summer, and summer is prone to severe weather. We actually experienced a water spout, and unfortunately or fortunately, when you're on the island during severe weather, they actually do not have you get back on the ship. You have to stay on the island, and you can stay in some form of shelter if you can find a store to stay in, if you can find just anywhere that's sheltered really. They will not let you back on the ship. I think one, because if you're trying to walk towards the ship while there's severe weather, something can happen. um you can get struck by lightning or something, some sort of injury can happen to you. And they don't want you out in the open trying to walk and get back to the ship. Now, I believe if there's severe weather while you're on the ship, like it's a day at sea, then obviously you're going to stay on the ship because you're out on the sea and there's nowhere to go, unless like the ship is flooding and you need to get off through via lifeboats. But the only difference is when you're actually on the island, then protocol changes and you have to stay on the island until all the severe warning protocols go away. So that was interesting to me. I only really experienced it one time, and we were lucky where we kind of went inside of a store and hid. Because where we were actually sitting at Serenity Bay in the area where you eat the barbecue when a water spout came. And it was terrifying. We were okay after, but yeah, you have to stay on the island. So this next section is going to talk about important things to pack. Now, bear in mind, it's going to depend on how long you are spending on the cruise. The longer you stay, the more things you're going to need. One of the most important things, in my opinion, is sunscreen. Because if you think about it, you're going to be spending a lot of time outdoors. You're going to be out on the deck walking around. You're going to be on the islands walking around. You're going to be on Disney's personal island, Castaway Key, which is usually pretty hot walking around. And keep in mind, even if you do take a cruise in the wintertime, we've gone on cruises in December. Once you step out on the islands, it's still warm on the island and you will be sweating. So, sunscreen is definitely a must. Sunscreen for your face, sunscreen for your skin. The other thing, sunglasses. You're going to be spending a lot of times outdoors. You want to have, shade for your eyes. So, sunglasses. Maybe a hat, maybe something on your head as well. And you may want multiple hats or head coverings because you are going to be outside, you are going to be sweating, you may want to change that out. With your clothing, you want to have clothing that is breathable, light cloth, like made out of light cloth, and clothing that's cool. Because keep in mind, once again, you're going to be outdoors a lot. You are going to want to have other things like a lanyard, If you want to carry around your phone in the water, again, a lot of these things have to do with if you are somebody that's going to be outdoors on the cruise a lot, or in the pool, or going into the ocean. Dan and I invested in these waterproof phone covers. We take them with us everywhere on the cruises, to the water parks, to the beach. You just slip your phone inside, and it's waterproof. You may want to invest also in some sort of fan, because if it's very hot and you're walking around for very long periods of time, you have a fan around your neck, or one that you can carry and you'll get some cool air, or they have the misters you can purchase. Those are also things that can keep you cool. So a lot of what I'm saying is surrounded around keeping yourself cool, because it doesn't matter what time of the year, certain parts of the islands that you enter will still always be hot. Also want to think about water, whether it is that you bring a reusable water bottle. Disney does have places where you can refill your water bottles on deck, or you can purchase water on the ship, but you want to think about water and staying hydrated, because once again, you're in a lot of warm areas. Because there's a lot of water involved in terms of where you're going to be walking, one of the most important things to me is non-slip shoes. Dan and I have invested in the pairs of Crocs, because for us, they not only work in the water, like if you don't want to take your shoes off and go in the water, but they also work really well on deck. I haven't slipped in them, because the deck can get pretty slippery, especially on the days where you're on the islands, or when your days you're at sea and everybody's just out on the pool deck all the time. The deck will get slippery, especially during the middle of the day. So you want to have shoes. A lot of people wear flip-flops, but for me, flip-flops are prone to slipping, and I just want to be super extra careful. So I usually use Crocs, but there are other different kinds of water shoes or safe slippers that you can use that will not slip as well. So definitely want to get non-slip shoes. And if you are someone who likes to dress up and take pictures, I would definitely bring a pair of dress clothes just for that one night on the cruise, when it's kind of like your formal night and everybody's dressed up, so you can take pictures and, look nice. I know on the longer cruises you'll have like lobster night, and everybody tends to dress up on lobster night. So just think about, if you're someone that would want to dress up and take pictures, then you would want to bring a pair of dress clothes in addition to everything else. So another thing you may want to think about is your excursions, because you may need specific clothing for the excursions. You may need certain equipment. You may want to bring an umbrella. This is why you may want to do your research and just figure out exactly kind of what the excursions are going to look like, and what you will need in order to be on the excursion. Because, like, for example, this excursion here, we had to like step down pretty far into a boat, and you need comfortable shoes in order to do that. So there was another excursion we went on where we had to step into a pretty tall bus and then step down again. So just being aware of kind of what your excursion is like, and as to what kind of materials or equipment that you will need. Is it going to rain? Do you need an umbrella? Things like that. And another fun thing on the cruise is that you can purchase a Magic Band Plus. This is something that came out in the last few years. It's pretty much like the Magic Band that you would use in the parks. You use it to get into your room, you use it to purchase things, and it's just a nice little fun little keepsake for the cruise. One thing to keep in mind is the themed nights on a Disney cruise. You're gonna have, if it's a themed cruise, like for example, we went on Pixar Day at Sea, so we had a Pixar themed day. You always are gonna have a pirate night. There's other nights where you may have the characters come out and you may want to dress up in their theme. So, thinking about that, if you are into dressing up, then you would need themed clothes to dress up with. So, some other items that you may want to pack, they aren't necessary, but they are important. They will help. You may want to bring a backpack for your excursions, because when you're on the excursion and you want to have like a place to hold your water bottle or just anything that you're carrying with you, it'd be a good idea to have a backpack you put on your shoulder, or some sort of tote bag. If you are someone that uses your phone a lot and you want to take a lot of pictures, a lot of videos, you may want to have a portable charger. Or if you're bringing a camera, an extra charger or extra batteries for your camera too, because you may be out off the ship for a while, or you may be taking pictures and videos on the ship and you need it. So, a portable charger is definitely important. If you're traveling with a large family, you may want to bring magnetic hooks into your room and just hang them up in different spots, so you have many other options to hang clothes up, because when you have a lot of wet clothes, that's pretty much what you would like to do, is hang them up so that they can dry better. Um, You also may want to have cash because depending on where you are going for your excursion, they may ask for cash or they may need cash for certain things. Most places take credit card, but there are some places that would like cash. Also, your drivers and workers that take you on the excursions may want cash as a tip because you won't be able to give them a tip via your credit card. If you are someone who's prone to getting seasick, you may want to bring some medicine. There is medicine available in the store or shop as well, but if you have a specific medicine that is prone to you, you may want to bring that. Tylenol or Advil if you have a headache, things if you have stomach ache. Because remember, on the cruise, you are most likely going to be eating more than you normally do on a daily basis. So you might want to bring things like Pepto Bismol or Gas-X, just any little things like that. Again, not totally necessary, but they are important and can make your trip a little bit easier. If you have kids, you can also bring snacks and extra drinks that they may want that aren't offered on the cruise. There is a lot of fruit on the cruise, though, so I wouldn't necessarily worry about that. But you can bring extra snacks and drinks for your kids. And something fun that isn't totally unnecessary, but is becoming a tradition of a lot of cruise goers is to bring magnets for their doors. The magnets are usually themed. They'll have like their name or their family name, and just like different magnets to go with the different members or like the theme, whatever theme they choose. So that's something fun that you can do. And one more thing, if you have the Disney Chase Rewards card, this is something important because as you buy things on your Chase reward card, on your Chase credit card, you get rewards towards Disney and you can spend those rewards on things on the cruise. We've actually done that before where we've racked up enough points and just bought like all of our merchandise with rewards from our Chase card. So that was really useful. And with that, we are going to wrap up our second part of booking your first Disney cruise. I hope you're enjoying this so far. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment any questions you guys have. We will answer to our best ability. Like I said, we've been on quite a few Disney cruises now, so we will try our best to answer any of your questions. One thing that I did forget to mention earlier, I know I've been talking a lot about what to pack in specific to Caribbean cruises, because a lot of the things that I mentioned talked about, swimwear or sunscreen or keeping yourself cool. But keep in mind, there are also cruises going to Alaska, and so you would need to do your research on exactly what to bring for those kinds of cruises. But obviously, you're going to need things that will keep you warm in that case, jackets, sweaters, boots, hats, hoodies, scarves, things like that. And then your excursions would also be very different. You would need items that would keep you warm. So don't forget. There are the Alaskan cruises, and you would need to have pretty much the opposite of what you would need on a Caribbean cruise. But the biggest takeaway is just being prepared, doing your research ahead of time, knowing the temperature, knowing kind of what the area is going to be like in order to be prepared. So with that, catch us for our next part. It'll be part 3 of booking your first Disney cruise coming soon. And again, comment if you have any questions. Thanks for joining us.